Apparently they have changed the batteries a little. They used it all. I do what? Go talk to the top. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. Okay. I'm going to stand here. Sorry if you've got my back. Right. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the wedding.
You need to hold the microphone to your mouth.
Welcome everybody. It's all going slow. Look into it.
Yes.
It should be working. It's working now, is it? I'm holding it.
Now.
Stand still. Don't move. Don't move. Shout.
You didn't replace the battery.
Okay. I'll speak up, Sharon. But if I want to move around, shall we start again? Go on, talk into that.
Welcome everybody. Okay, I'll speak up. I'll speak up, okay? And if anybody can't hear me, just accept you're the fortunate one. Welcome everybody, welcome to the wedding of Jennifer Lee Marie and her toy boy. First of all, I have to say just how beautiful she looks.
Yeah.
Doesn't she? You're a very lucky man. And also the bridesmaids. We're surrounded by beauty. Lovely. The good news is I intend to follow Ian's excellent advice about speeches, in that they should be large enough to cover the important bits, but small enough just to still be interesting. And he also said, by the way, don't try and be charming, intellectual or funny. Just be yourself. And the other thing we need to check, they've gone, but thanks to Kelly and her staff at the Hair and Hand.
Yes.
They've done a tremendous job. Without whom, of course, we'd all be in the back washing up. My job here today is an easy one. It's the traditional one of giving away Jenny to Jack so that in future she will obey what he says and do what she's told. The way Frank, Jean's father, gave her away to me, and a couple of years ago I gave Laura away to Adam. And if you have any success in that, Jack, please let me know, because I'm singularly unsuccessful. Now's a great time to welcome Jack into our family. When he first came, good meeting him. And in fact now we call him the Exorcist in our house. Because every time he leaves there's no bloody spirit. Jack has quite recently taken up running and has done progressively longer events, done 5, 10, half marathons. He doesn't train. I gave him some advice about training and keeping, he ignores it, goes out and just does it. Unlike me, if I do a half marathon, triathlon, I train very hard and I'm still absolutely useless at it. And so in future I've probably decided that I'm going to give it up and just talk about it. Which is a good time for me to bring my next point, which I was lucky to keep in, but I didn't tell you. It's about the birds and the bees. Now, fortunately, I probably don't have to tell Jack and Jenny too much about the birds and the bees, which is a good job, because these days you don't have to just talk about the birds and the bees. You have to talk about the birds and the birds, and the bees and the bees, and the birds that identify as bees. And then leaving aside the 2 birds and 1 bee, or 2 birds and 1 bee, I gave up a long time ago. And I gave up trying to understand. Jean told me once, about 10 years ago, when Ian was 10 years old, you're going to have to have a word with him about the facts of life. Which was unfortunate, because even then I'd forgotten most of what little I know. But anyway, I said, Ian, I want to have a word with you about the facts of life. And he said, right, Dad, what is it you want to know exactly? I suppose really now is a good time for me to give Jack some advice on how to be a good husband. But I can't. I've no idea. And being a good husband, I'm afraid, is one of the many things I'm not very good at. Jean uses the term useless. I prefer not very good at it. But instead, I might just pass on to Jack a book Jean bought me a couple of years ago for Christmas. I was half hoping for a new triathlon bike, but I got a book. A book on how to be a good husband, which one day I think I might get round to reading. That's if I can find it again. I'm sorry. That's if I can find it again after the last time she chopped it at me and I ducked and it missed. And that probably is great advice to give to any husband. Just keep ducking. We've got a friend called Billy Five Wives. Now, as you can imagine, Billy has had 5 wives, but I haven't spoken to him this week, so that could have changed already. And he sent it to cards, by the way. And I was talking to him once, and I said, who's Colin? His name's not Billy, we call him Billy, his name's Colin. Don't get confused. Of course, Jean and I have been married for 58 years. No. He deserves more than just a round of applause, I can assure you. And so he said, you know what, Jeff? I've been married for 58 years. And I said, I've had 1 of them. You've had 5 of them. He did remind me to tell you something that I'm sure you're well aware of, that it's much easier to get forgiveness and permission. But he did also add, forgiveness could sometimes take quite a while, and also can be very, very expensive. Just a word of real advice for you. Jenny, I love Jenny, smash it. She don't like walking. If you want to get in being severe danger of physical harm, take Jenny a walk round the walls of Dubrovnik town in 90 degrees of heat. It wasn't 100 degrees, it was 90 degrees. Believe me, would I lie to you? I was telling her while we were walking round a brief history of Dubrovnik, fascinating, from the 7th century. And I'd got to about 1576 and telling her about how the Ottoman Empire had imposed water rationing on Dubrovnik on a Sunday afternoon. And I asked her if she was having fun. I think she said, God give me strength. But I think that was probably because she'd just seen the next 1,000 steps to the next ice cream parlour. But seriously, Jenny is a hard worker. She's done a few jobs. She's worked at Next. She's worked at Millie's Donuts.
Pretzels.
Same thing.
Auntie Anne's pretzels.
Okay, I was anywhere near on that one. It wasn't Millie. It wasn't donuts. It was
Auntie Anne's pretzels.
Auntie Anne's Pretzels. And she also worked at the bar as a barmaid at the Royal Oak in Earlstown. These customers are slowly returning. Some of the braver ones are poking their head round to the door and saying, "Is she still here?" But they're not taking her back, I'm assured. And finally, she's into neonatal nursing. Jean and I are inordinately proud of Jenny and what she's achieved, as would Martin and Molly and Pete, who are the grandparents of Pete. And she is now, after a very short time, a band 6 and assistant with the NHS. And for those of you that don't know what that means, believe me, it's impressive. The work that Jenny does as a neonatal nurse is so important to so many people that in any single day she does more for the well-being of the vulnerable than I, for one, have done in a lifetime of pointless working. And, sorry, excuse me for a minute. And we're proud, and she works with some of her work colleagues who are here today. And we're proud and grateful to all of you. They say you should include a joke in a speech, and of a number I could tell you, most of which quite rightly have been banned by Jesus. I must confess, I like the one about the coal mine.
Yeah. No. No.
The punchline of which
Do it!
You know that.
Ask him later.
No, do it.
When there's
We all want to know now.
do it.
There's
too many little ears.
Do it.
a duck went home to lunch. That's wrong. That's the wrong joke. The duck didn't go home to lunch. The coal miners went home to lunch. A duck went into a bar and said to the barman, "Have you got any bread?" So the barman said, "Oh no, I haven't got any bread in the bar." So the duck said, "Have you got any bread?" The barman said, No, I've just told you, we serve spirits, we don't serve them. So have you got any bread then? So the barman said, "No, I'm fed up, I've told you 3 times now. We're a bar, we don't serve bread, and if you ask me again, I'll nail your beak to the bar." So the duck said, "Have you got any nails?" So the barman said, "No." He said, "Got any bread?" That's the only joke with Ian's advice about I want you to slow burner. With Ian's advice about bikinis in mind and with the important bits now covered, if you like that one, remind me to tell you about the coal mine. With Ian's advice in mind, I'll now hand you over to Jason, who hopefully will tell us the interesting bits about Jenny that she hoped Jean and I would never find out, and which I'd have known earlier, so that I could have included it in my speech. So what I'd like you to do now, if you would please, is to stand up, and so that you can move forward. Welcome, Jenny. An interesting married life. Jack and Jenny.
They keep on 5 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lee, the proud mirror brother of the groom. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate this special occasion with us. It means the world to Jack and Jen to have their loved ones gathered together. Growing up, Jack's always been the kind-hearted one. Despite having me and Jay as the ones to look up to, he turned out to be the very best of us. His dedication to his craft has always been an admirable trait, whether that be various instruments that he set his mind to, or dressing up as a woman on a night out. His ability to cut through the bullshit has always been an amazing tool for the family, to help us laugh and bring our spirits up, even through dark times. I can speak for myself and Jay when I say Jack has the ability to make you feel valued and loved as a brother. His kindness is not just a trait, but a way of life. When he met Jenny, it was clear that he had found someone who shared and amplified that kindness. Together they bring out the best in each other, creating a partnership built on mutual respect and genuine care. Outside of the time he pissed in Jenny's handbag after a night out, he tried to blame it on me. Their trust for each other is absolute. Seeing the way Jack looks at Jenny and how Jenny looks back, it's evident that they share a deep and abiding love. They complement each other in the most beautiful way, making each day brighter and more meaningful. They can think of nothing better than just coming home and just spending time together. I'm so proud that we now get to call you our sister Jen. I know you probably don't feel the same way. But at the very least, you know, you have the protection and the love of the toys, and that will shine through for years to come. You know, I mean, down to deciduaries, it's now better. I'll pass over to the oldest, but not the wisest, of our brothers. Here's Jay.
It's very short.
What were we looking at?
25 minutes, please.
Mate, you're right. Who's on about 7? Who wants about 7 minutes?
No, about 20, 25. 6:28.
I'll wait for a minute.
6:28.
Right. I haven't started yet. Alright, I can hear you did. Right, alright.
Hold on a minute, wait.
6:28.
Right, here we go. Quick fact before the speech begins to give you something to think about.
Okay.
Jack and Jenny is the same names given to a male and female donkey. Anyway, congratulations to the happy couple. It's been a beautiful day so far. Couldn't be happier for Jack and Jenny. I really think they're a match made in heaven. Just look at the facts. Jenny has excelled in a career looking after little bold things that cry. I don't think I need the punchline, do I? And now she's married to Jack, who's bold and good. Affectionately known as Auntie Boldy and Auntie Jenny from the kids, they love showing Jenny all the video games that they play, and she sits there politely pretending to be interested. She's nailed that skill, so I'm guessing it comes in very handy at home with her now husband. Speaking of kids, I'd like to thank Jack, because he's the reason that my wife conceived our second child. And it does sound suspicious, I agree. And although we're close brothers, we're not that close. On a lovely summery afternoon, we had the paddle and pool out, all was calm and fun, and out of nowhere, Jack decided to dunk tackle Louise, my wife, into a paddling pool. And that seemed to rearrange my wife's womb. Right? Resulting in Jackson entering the world around 9 months later. Now this is a favour I absolutely will repay. So Jenny, if you don't want kids, I'd stay away from paddling pools. And Jack. Okay? Now, before Jack met Jenny, he was pretty depressed. He fell asleep a lot on trains, and some would say he smelled a bit ripe.
Now, however, with Jenny, he's the happiest he's ever been by Jack's standards, and no longer sleeps on trains. And I think he showers slightly more often. He's become matured and more sensible, so Jenny, you've made Jack grow as a person. Some things you can't change, though. He's still quite grumpy, and his hair will never grow back. I'd like to give a special thanks to Jack and Jenny because following conversations that I've had with Lee, it's apparent to us two that we are the rubbish brothers. Jack's ruined mine and Lee's relationships with our other halves. I'm absolutely sick of hearing of all the nice stuff he does for Jenny and how thoughtful he is. Never do things for me. Be more thoughtful. Yes.
Hold these basics.
So, Jen, you're looking beautiful, and even though we've always viewed you as family, I'd like to welcome you officially to the family and another Mrs. Toy. Like we need any more crazy Mrs. Toys. I mean, you've seen her. You've seen her. Welcome. I'm very sorry for all the things that come with being part of this family, because it is a pain in the ass. But remember, marriage doesn't have to last forever. Anyways. And I'll finish with, I hope you have a great day, and I'd like to raise a glass to the donkeys. Donkeys!